guys, welcome back to Astrovision, Spirituality, and Tarot. So, I know that I kind of checked out for quite some time on this channel, but I am back today to give you guys a 2-for-1 video. We're going to be discussing Blac Chyna's natal chart, and we're also going to take a look at Taraji P. Henson's natal chart, because both of these women have gone back into the media and the blogs and stuff discussing their financial issues and problems with, their finances and things like that. Another thing that I found interesting with, formulating and creating this video is the fact that both of these women are from Washington, D.C. They're both born on the 11th. So it just is like a perfect matchup to talk about both of these women at the same time. Now, I'm going to start things off with Taraji since that's a little bit more fresh. Everybody is kind of talking about that right now. Now, for starters, Taraji P. Henson was born in Washington, D.C. on September 11th in the year of 1970, which makes her a Virgo sun woman and a Capricorn moon woman as well. And one thing to find interesting with this combination of energy is that she is the type of person who is gonna come off as very modest and humble at times, very conservative, but at the same time she's a number 11. And with the number 11s, these people want to appear as unique. That number 11 has to deal with that Aquarian energy in a sense. So these people definitely want to come off as striking and attention seeking, but for their uniqueness. And you can see this in Taraji's style and her personal style. She is conservative, but she does do these TLC left eye looking hairstyles. She also wears a lot of glitter and different textures, sparkles, all of that stuff. So she's very fun and expressive with her fashion. That's something that I noticed. And also with Taraji's claim to fame being acting and with her being a Virgo, that is in the realm of Virgo because Virgo is a mutable sign, and the mutables have to deal with the energy that's very progressive and goes with the flow. So these people are all about, correcting their wrongdoings and reformulating whatever it is that they did in the past that was an error to create some type of perfection, especially since she is a Virgo. And Virgo is all about perfection. You know what I'm saying? It's all about the professionalist, someone who is very dapper and on time. Virgo is a very prestigious type of energy, especially at its highest exalted energy. This is where you can see a Virgo person displaying those type of traits and qualities. And also with Taraji having a Capricorn moon, this is something that can give her that mean girl aesthetic and give her this appearance that's very cold, very stern and strict. She can seem like someone who follows the rules all of the time. She doesn't break any rules. She can be very conservative, very orderly, like things in order, be the type of person who definitely will call the cops on somebody who is suspicious. So this type of combination that she's working with isn't liked by everyone, and this is where you can see her really living up to the reputation that her characters have. So I do believe that Taraji can identify with the characters that she plays on screen. I do believe that this stereotype angry black woman that she plays on screen is, it has some truth to it. I do believe that possibly is her real life aura. That's how she possibly is behind the scenes. Just from looking at her chart with that combination of Virgo and Capricorn, that is pointing to that. You know what I'm saying? And something that goes over people's heads with Virgos is that these people are all about serving and assisting. So Taraji can play the role of being a girl's girl and appear that she's about women empowerment and things like that. And that's because she's an actor, but that's also because she's a Virgo. Don't forget, Virgo is a mutable sign, and these people can go with the flow. They can assemble into any character or role that they need to fit into if it's going to benefit them. You know what I'm saying? If it's going to help aid whatever it is that they're trying to accomplish. So just with that being a fact right there within itself, I do believe that Taraji does and is capable of portraying the traits that she displays on screen. And with that being said, to kind of like tie this back into her financial problems and things like that, I believe that she kind of is, typecasted in a way, but also put in a box to where she doesn't want to step outside of that box and ruffle anybody's feathers. She's already seen as this mean, angry black woman. So just with her speaking out and trying to ask for a higher pay rate or a raise or anything like that, in her mind, she probably thinks like, oh no, I'm doing too much. And this kind of reminds me of Nicki Minaj in a way, if you guys are familiar with her pickle juice quote or statement back when she was up and coming, and how she stated that a lot of people would prefer the pickle juice that record labels offer an artist instead of seeking, this astronomical amount that they know they deserve. You know what I'm saying? And with Taraji, it's like if you've been accepting roles for $150,000 and you've been doing that in the past, you cannot expect for these big producers and directors to kind of side eye you and look at you crazy when you do attempt to ask for more if you've been doing that. Of course, they're going to be like, well, you've been taking $100,000, you've been taking $75,000 for these roles, so why are you asking for $2 million now? Why are you asking for $5 million now? You know what I'm saying? When Taraji should have been asked for that when she was progressing in her career. And she's definitely had a handful of certain roles where she should have been compensated fairly, and she's gone on to talk about this numerous of times in different interviews. But I do feel that she's just gotten comfortable in the politics of Hollywood and accepted the pickle juice, and she drank the pickle juice, and now this is all that they have to offer you when you should have been shooting for those astronomical, numbers. You should have been asking for maybe 5 mil, so then they could lowball you and hit you with a 1.5 or a 2 million. You know what I'm saying? Or you should have been asked for 8 million, and then they could have lowballed you and hit you with a number that maybe you didn't expect, but it's still something that's a little bit justifiable. So I have to look at Taraji with the side eye because she's a veteran in this game. You know what I'm saying? She's a veteran in this game, and she definitely has played iconic roles. Karate Kid with Will and Jada Smith's son. Will, what's his name? Jaden Smith. She's then played Karate Kid. She's then been in Hustle and Flow. She's held her own on Empire. She kind of, was the main reason that show was successful. And then obviously she was in The Diary of a Mad Black Woman. She was in Baby Boy. And the list goes on for Taraji P. Henson. You know what I'm saying? She does have a fruitful resume when it comes to acting roles and just being a decorated actress in Hollywood. She's a well-respected actress, and she's very highly awarded. So I do feel that she should be getting compensated fairly to what her counterparts are being paid, because you don't hear Gabrielle Union complaining, you don't hear Nia Long, Megan Good, you don't hear Issa Rae, all of these other people who are also black women, who are also very dominant and proficient in their career field as actresses. You don't hear them complaining that much about their pay and their compensation. It's Taraji. So I do believe that someone on her team needs to be let go, and they should have been let go a long time ago, because it makes no sense that you're on a film with other artists who are maybe receiving a proceeds of the box office cut and you're not. Or maybe they're receiving, 10 times the amount of what you're making, and you're like a veteran in the game. It makes no sense. So we're going to jump into her chart, and we're going to check this out and see what's going on with Taraji, because, Virgos can play games. These people can play games. They can be very messy, very manipulative too. They could be very textbook smart. But sometimes when it comes to that common sense, similar to like a Gemini or like a Libra, or any other sign that has to deal with communication, sometimes these people can be sloppy, very manipulative, and there's always two sides to a story. She does have her Saturn in Taurus trining her Virgo stellium, and her Virgo stellium has her Sun attached to it. It has her Pluto attached to it, and it also has her Mars attached to it. And she also has Lilith in Virgo, but Lilith isn't a planet, it's more so like a degree. And Lilith just deals with where a person may lack shame, they can have no remorse, no regret for situations where they should feel, those type of feelings, but they may lack those feelings. And since she does have Lilith and Virgo, and she also has this Virgo stellium, when it comes to her work life, she potentially can just have a very chaotic work life that isn't enjoyable. And as far as her routines and work and all of that stuff, since Virgo does have to deal with the routines as well, it can be very chaotic. Basically, with these planets, what I'm getting at is that her work life and her schedule, her career in general, and how she goes about her day is very chaotic, and it's not enjoyable. It doesn't bring her any type of joy. And her Saturn and Taurus placement, which is trining this stellium with all of these aspects, it kind of compensates for her not, enjoying the lifestyle of being an actor, or just, having to be on set and having to deal with all of the dramatics that comes with that life, of being an actor or an actress and just having to work in Hollywood in general. It probably isn't pleasant. And since she does have Saturn in Taurus, she's someone who enjoys money, and she enjoys things that generate comfort for her through materialistic needs, So she is someone who finds, structure and order through those things. And allegedly, they don't pay her that much. And if they're not paying her what she feels like she deserves, whatever it is that she's using to create this happiness, she probably runs through it quickly, which frustrates her even more because she's having to deal with this and balance out this chaotic work life and have to, probably be on set here. Being an actor, there's probably a lot of fees. You do need a hairstylist. You probably need massage therapy sometimes from doing different roles that maybe require a lot of body movement. Maybe you need to see a nutritionist at times because, in Hollywood, they like to play around with people's weight. They tell you need to gain weight for a certain role, then they tell you need to lose weight for a certain role. So there's a lot that does go into the finances of being an actor. And I'm sensing from reading her chart is that she's potentially possibly living outside of her means, just a smidge, just a smidge. She is probably trying to keep up with the Joneses, trying to keep up with other actors who are of her caliber. So maybe they roll out the carpet for these other actors, and in their dressing rooms it's loaded, and they already, have certain things ready for them. And maybe she has to, use her finances to do all that stuff to make herself feel comfortable too, and make herself feel somewhat of a star as well while being in the realm of these people. And so just from looking at Taraji's chart and seeing her have this Saturn and Taurus placement, trine her Virgo stellium, having Mars in Virgo, that is, I would say, great for an actor. That's great for anybody who is working in a professional career, having Mars in Virgo, but it can create for a lot of messes, a lot of accidents. It can create for you having to be alert and be cautious because you could potentially just get into, a lot of mini accidents having to deal with the body. Virgo does have to deal with the nerves, and it does have to deal with the function of the body. It does deal with the function and the flow of our day as well and being productive. And so these people can run into little accidents and have little fractures here or there. And something to take note is that Taraji has gone on to confirm her battle with chronic stomach issues, which is something you can see with Virgo in general. Virgo deals with the intestines, it deals with the stomach. And so she's gone on to note that she's struggled with chronic stomach issues, which often can lead to vomiting, headaches, ulcers, and other chronic symptoms. And so with her having this stellium, and she also has a Lilith in Virgo, I can see her dealing with addictions as well. You know, Virgo is the opposite energy of Pisces. So these people can share similar traits. And with Virgos, these people can be very neurotic. They can be anxiety sprung and very high off, you know, their anxious feelings. And so these people can compensate that with addictive tendencies that aren't the healthiest. You know, just because you're going to your doctor and you're getting a prescription doesn't mean it's always good for you. You know, these Virgo people, they definitely can abuse that. They are the type of people to do rich people drugs. So they will go and get prescriptions prescribed to them, and they will pop bottles on end. And they'll tell people, oh, I'm fine, you know, I'm fine. And people will believe them because they're functioning, they're doing a good job while sedated and on this stuff. But at the end of the day, it's not healthy. And I do believe that deep down, Taraji possibly could have struggled with some addictions in the past. Maybe alcohol, maybe some other substance. But I do believe, just from looking at her chart, and she has a Virgo stellium, that it could potentially be there, that she may have struggled with that in the past. And just from looking at her, you know, in her face and stuff, she also has Mars in Virgo. And just with having Mars in Virgo, these are people who can age quickly. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if it's because of any addictive substances, but that can be a possibility too. That can play a role in that. Virgos can look very youthful. They can look very youthful, but at the same time, if you have Mars in Virgo, Mars in Capricorn, if you have Mars attached to a sign, a Earth sign, which, you know, Earth deals with the progress of things being more slow, Mars deals with the progress of things being sped up. So you can age quickly, you can mature quickly, and at an older age where you're supposed to look youthful like other Virgos, you know, Taraji kind of looks older, a little bit more older. So I would not be thrown off or shocked if these producers and these directors start typecasting her as a grandmother or an older, elderly character who's on their way out, they're about to transcend and pass. You know, I wouldn't put it past these directors to put her in that position, especially because she does have this Virgo stellium, and that can be difficult to navigate, especially when we're talking about career and jobs and just your daily routine in general. She can struggle on the regular. And now, if you guys are still here, you know, shout out to you if you made it to this part of the video. We're going to discuss Blac Chyna's natal placements in her chart and go over her situation, which kind of is similar to Taraji's situation. You know, Blac Chyna has come back into the public with a newfound approach. You know, she wants to change her image and move on from being this promiscuous video vixen. If you aren't familiar with her, she's more notorious for appearing as this socialite who has dated and become the baby mother of different rappers who are very affluent. So, you know, Tyga, and she also is the baby mother of Robert Kardashian. And so with Blac Chyna being associated with the Kardashians, that has propelled her further with more media attention, and it has positioned her to really staple herself in Hollywood and become this authentic urban brand, if you will, in a sense, you know. And Blac Chyna kind of puts on for, you know, the hood girls out there in the hood who want to live that lifestyle of being fast and living the fast life of luxury and fame and all of that stuff. She kind of gives girls out there who aspire to be her this fantasy And that's really what Blac Chyna is notorious for. And one thing that I can say about Blac Chyna is that this woman right here is non-problematic. You don't really hear about her being messy. You don't really hear about her having too many scandals or too many ridiculous, foolish moments that are associated with other people. You know, I would say Blac Chyna is one of those girls who is focused on her money, focused on her career. I would say she gets it out of the mud without the gimmicks and without, you know, the Hollywood fakery. You know what I'm saying? I would say Blac Chyna is authentically herself. Her image is authentically hers. Now, in current days, I don't know. With this newfound approach that she's going on with changing her life and stuff like that and trying to appear more spiritual, more conservative and less revealing, I will give her some credit, you know, at working towards that. But I don't know if it's a front or not. You know what I'm saying? Because when it comes to these Hollywood stars and these celebrities, once their brand gets damaged and they're not able to profit off of that anymore, these people tend to transform themselves into something that's more passable and profitable to the public. So I don't know if this is a front, but I'm not gonna keep up with her either. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm not gonna keep up with her either to see what's going on. But I do believe that she possibly is tired of the lifestyle of having to keep up with the Joneses. And on the note of her appearing as someone who isn't problematic, that has to deal with her being a Taurus sun. And again, she also is born on the 11th, and she's from DC as well, similar to Taraji P. Henson, who we just previously discussed. And something that you can see with people who are born on the 11th, these people do appear as unique. These people have entitlement issues, and that's something you can see with Taraji. But that's also something you can see with Blac Chyna as well. I do believe that at a point in time, she did feel entitled to certain things or certain privileges that the Kardashians may have had when she was fooling around with their brother, you know. And so she was making certain demands and taking these huge risks and things like that when she was partnered with Robert Kardashian out of spite towards Kim and towards Kylie, because, you know, it's no secret that Kylie Jenner, you know, which is still disgusting. I think this is disgusting even to this day. Kylie Jenner was fooling around with Tyga, underaged. Kris Jenner, you know, she approved that relationship. She allowed for her daughter to be groomed by that man or to even be associated with that man. Regardless if you want to call them best friends, whatever you want to call it, put a code name on it, I don't care. It's still gross because Kylie Jenner was underage. She was not 18. I think she was like 16 when she was fooling around with Tyga, who was almost on his way into being in his 30s, if he was not 30 already. So I just believe that that was very disturbing and disgusting and sinister on Kris Jenner's part. And, you know, Caitlyn Jenner checked out. We all know what he was up to. He only thing he had on his mind was if he was planning to chop off his willy or keep it or not, you know. Or he was probably too busy and booked in consultations with different doctors about receiving breast enhancements and different cosmetic procedures so he can transform into a woman. So he probably been checked out of his family's bullshit when Kylie was involved with Tyga. But I do believe that that is very dark and disturbing, especially since Blac Chyna has gone on to have a child with her brother, who is Robert Kardashian. Okay? And since she has this child with him, I believe that Tyga, in a way, he's still going to be affiliated with that family because his son is Blac Chyna's son. And that's Blac Chyna's daughter's brother. So Blac Chyna's daughter, she has those Kardashian privileges. She's a Kardashian, an authentic Kardashian. She bears that name. And so she's going to be able to invite her brother to those Kardashian parties. And I just think it's very sick and it's disgusting because Tyga's going to be there to pick his son up. and he's gonna be there to see Kylie and her kids, and it's just nasty. It's gross, you know. That's just how I'm thinking about all of this. But back on board with Blac Chyna being a Taurus woman and her being born on the 11th, that just points to her being very unique. And I do believe that Kim felt comfortable stealing from Blac Chyna's aesthetic, her unique aesthetic. You know, Blac Chyna is known for having the large butt, the enhanced hips, and Blac Chyna was also known for her bodycon era. You know, she wore a lot of bodycon dresses, and she was very fashionable. You know, she's an all-around hood girl. You know, hood girls is gonna put it together. They're gonna go to the beauty supply store and they're gonna put it together real nice. And Kim, obviously, is not original. She's not authentic. She was associated with Paris Hilton. She jacked and robbed Paris Hilton's whole blueprint, stole that, ran with it, and then she jacked Blac Chyna's aesthetic as far as beauty goes. And she kind of enhanced that and trademarks it for herself. But we all know where it comes from, okay? Nobody's stupid. If you want to play dumb with Kim, you go tune into her TV show. You be hypnotized by that bullshit if you want to. But everyone who lives outside of that and who doesn't keep up with them hoes, no disrespect, but everyone who lives outside of that, we know the real. You know what I'm saying? And Blac Chyna definitely did get the end of the stick. And I do believe, again, when she was situated with Robert at the time, she definitely did struggle with entitlement issues because she 100% for sure could have won that court case where she was going up against the Kardashians. But I do believe that she was greedy and the amount that she was asking for was way too much. Way, way too much. And she's a Taurus woman, so you know they're going to go big when it comes to the finances. I do believe she was asking for a little bit too much, and that's why her case got dismissed. That's why it got thrown out. And that's something you can see with number 11s. You know, anyone who's born under an Aquarian themed number, so it could be number 4, it could be number 22. These number 11s out here, these people can be very selfish and very entitled, okay? I wouldn't put this past her. Now, Blac Chyna does have a Pisces moon, and allegedly, Blac Chyna has held her own for years. You know, she's been solo dolo when it comes to the finances, and she's been doing it on her own. Even when she became the mother of Tyga's child, she still was holding her own. She never requested for child support from Tyga. Also, she never requested child support from Robert Kardashian either. And so years down the road, her kids, you know, they're almost of age to where possibly I think they may be entering early teenage years. And now she's fighting for more custodial rights. I believe that Blac Chyna is also requesting that she receives some type of child support as well. So she's looking for some type of financial support from her child's fathers. And I see nothing wrong with that, especially if for, you know, at least a decade or from the start of their life up until now, she's been holding it down and she's been taking care of them. But, you know, her baby fathers did fire back that they have their child majority of the week and they take care of their schooling, and when they're with them, they take care of majority of the financial problems that they may run into. So I don't really know what's going on with Blac Chyna. If she does have her kids only 2 days out of the week, bless her heart, you know, for putting on this big front. You know, bless her heart. But if she wants to potentially fight to become a more present parent and be a more full-time parent, again, who am I or anybody else to fault her for wanting that and to desire that in her life, you know? She does have that Pisces moon. When it comes to Pisces moons, these people can struggle with sharing their true emotions. You know, these people really can bottle it in and escape. You know, Pisces is the sign of the escapist. So similar to a Virgo, you know, we just were talking about Taraji. Pisces is the opposite energy of that. These people also can struggle with addictive tendencies that may be disruptive and destructive to their daily lifestyle. And Blac Chyna has had her moments of spazzing out and being triggered and bothered in the public, and it definitely looked like she was off of some type of substance. So I don't know if that is a reason to why she isn't as present as she should be with her children, but that's something that should be noted is that she only really has her children out of like 2 days of the week. She's like a part-time parent. But she has gone into the public to kind of reshape her image and transform from this video vixen type of woman, you know. And so I kind of will give her credit. Currently, with the times that we're in, dealing with the recession, and her kids are growing up, obviously they're going to want the similar lifestyle to what their fathers present to them. So if Blac Chyna isn't able to do that, she has gone on record saying that she had to sell her cars, she may have to sell her home, she had to sell her bags and all of these things, and she's trying to appear more spiritual and more minimalistic, but we all know it's probably just because she's going broke. She may be going broke, trying to keep up with people in LA and different celebs in LA culture and how these people live out there. She probably cannot afford to live that lifestyle. LA is very expensive. California is no joke. Like, no joke. It's very tough out there, and that is why they call it the City of Angels, because there's not too many people who can survive the LA lifestyle, And so I do believe that Blac Chyna is going broke, trying to keep up with her counterparts and her peers and different social media influencers who are up and coming. And she's probably struggling having to deal with that, having to wrap her mind around being washed up or not being as relevant as she once was. And since her relevancy is on the decline, she probably wants to be comfortable, and she probably can't because she has bills to pay and she has bills due. And with her relevancy being on the decline, she can't really book that many gigs to compensate for all of these bills coming in. So with her seeking child support and wanting to appear more minimalistic, obviously it's because she's going broke, And I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm going to end the video here, but definitely like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys in my next video.